Hello, my name is Ryan Augsburger. In my research paper, I wrote about e-commerce in reference to international business. The uncontrollable growth of e-commerce has caused many businesses to adjust their business plans to keep up to date with their competition. Someone who is old school, possibly from the baby boomer generation, who is running a business will likely struggle in today's society of digital technology and e-commerce, while a young millennial business owner who is more equipped to thrive with the emergence of e-commerce, especially in regarding to expanding their business internationally. Also, millennials are more susceptible to becoming entrepreneurs through e-commerce. For example, many shopping centers are becoming obsolete because of the convenience of purchasing the products from the customer's home with no additional cost and free shipping. While e-commerce is convenient, efficient, and cost-effective, it makes businesses vulnerable to fraud, also eliminating many customer service jobs. E-commerce can be defined as the use of the internet to conduct business transactions nationally or internationally. E-commerce is such a vital part of society these days, with many businesses participating in it every day. However, is it realistic for e-commerce rapid growth to continue? And if so, who will it be affecting? In this paper, I am going to be focusing on the rise of e-commerce has affected developed and developed countries in vastly different ways. I will also talk about how e-commerce has had international trade both positively and negatively. Finally, I will lay out what the expansion of e-commerce has done to employment levels, specifically from an international scope. Although the rise of e-commerce in the last decade has benefited us, the consumers, businesses are continuing having to evolve to keep up with such advanced technical times. The growth of e-commerce is staggering. The first worldwide known e-commerce business was eBay in 1995. Only, 30 years ago? Less than 30 years ago. eBay set the standards for the e-commerce in the future, offering people from all backgrounds to buy and sell products on an online marketplace. This was such an attraction to the consumer because the individual was in control of where the price starts and what the minimum amount of money they will accept for it. It also saves the individual the time and inconvenience of going to a pawn shop only to be often disappointed by the offer. Currently, many companies have adopted eBay's principles in creating an online marketplace, such as StubHub, Ticketmaster, and even Facebook Marketplace. The development of e-commerce since the early eBay days are astonishing. For instance, in 1999, global e-commerce was worth over $150 billion and was expected to increase over 90% by 2014. However, the expectations were shattered because by 2016, e-commerce growth continued to dominate the global retail marketplace, reaching more than 1.9 trillion with an ongoing growth rate to be projected at 23.7% yearly. Also, of the consumers in this statistic, 40% of them were making a purchase internationally. Those numbers illustrate the amount of growth e-commerce has experienced just in the last 17 years. Also, it reiterates that many consumers are open-minded to shopping internationally if there are minimal obstacles in receiving the product and if the price is right. Obviously, this rate cannot continue without retail businesses being turned into warehouses while all business is conducted online, especially regarding internationally. However, forecasts show that this rate will somehow continue, projecting that it rises twice the rate from 2017 to 2020 than it has in the previous 3 years. The contrast of e-commerce growth regarding developed versus developing countries differs greatly. For example, e-commerce in developing countries does not have the immediate impact that it would opposed to developed countries because of the lack of materials that are accessible. Without the proper resources and infrastructure available, developing countries have a much longer drawn out process to utilize e-commerce. Many developed countries are stuck in the mud in terms of e-commerce because internet access is often limited. This derails the people who need cheap and cost-effective alternatives to live within their means. However, although the future of e-commerce in developing countries typically looks bleak, if countries turn it around and experience growth like Africa has seen in the last 30 years, it will develop technology advancements faster than even developed countries have seen. To elaborate, our society is so technology advanced right now that if the resources are present, developing countries can skip several stages of development that the developed countries had to pass to move on to the next step. For example, many regulations that were required in traditional business are now thrown out the window because of e-commerce. Though it is tough for developed countries to get to the point where they can benefit from e-commerce, if accessible, they can potentially thrive from the tremendous opportunity to grow as a nation. In contrast, the benefits from e-commerce when referring to developed countries is usually immediate, short-term, with constant upgrades accessible through the internet. Developed countries have the luxury to find readily available products for a great rate and quick delivery. The emergence of e-commerce has helped small businesses tremendously because they are now able to save on overhead costs that is especially important if they have a stacked inventory. Overall, e-commerce has definitely changed the way we do things, especially regarding international business because of the convenience and efficiency. And I personally can see this growth continuing and many physical places becoming obsolete and everything turning online. Thank you.